Hello there. Today I'm sharing an idea that I've entitled simply The Power of a Positive Comment. And the prompting to share this with you came from two places. One is a book that I've recently been reading, and the other experience was a short stay in hospital that I've recently completed. And there's an experience from that passage and some research from the book that I'd like to highlight, and that prompted me to share this core idea with you. I hope it makes sense. Stay tuned. Hello there, Ian here once again, and it's a pleasure to be able to be with you. I hope this is catching you happy, healthy and strong. Just by the by, I was in hospital for a short stay. I'm recovering very, very well now. It was nothing major, just in case you're wondering. But here's what I wanted to share. While I was in hospital, one of the cleaning staff came in to do the routine cleanup of the floor, the bathroom, empty the bins and wipe the major surfaces. A vital service, by the way, and when it's not done, you notice the effects very quickly. Vitally important service. But as she was leaving, she turned around and said, "Hope you feel better soon," and left. And that was very unexpected and brightened my day. She didn't have to say it. She probably gets very little acknowledgement from anybody else in the rooms that she cleans. But she made a point of sharing a positive comment, which made me feel so much better. So I thought, well, how can I pass on a little bit of that positivity? So when the nurse came in to check my blood pressure, as they do about every half an hour to make sure things are okay, I thought, what can I say? So I I asked her when she was checking, "And how are you?" To which she replied, "Well, I'm fine, thank you." And she completed that service and then left. So I thought maybe she doesn't get much of those inquiries because nurses spend their lives professionally caring for others, and I expected it was quite rare for the patient to ask how the nurse was, so I made a point of doing it. Now, what were the consequences of me saying that? I don't know, and I will most likely never know what happened after she left the room, but maybe we can assume that her spirits were lifted a little bit. Maybe she was slightly more relaxed when she drew a blood sample from another patient later that day. Maybe that made that patient's stay a little more comfortable. Maybe she shared a smile with somebody else that passed on a bit more of that positivity to somebody else, which helped somebody else. You know where I'm going with this. We never know the effects of our positive actions. But two things I know pretty much for certain. The first one is that I did no harm. I don't think I caused any harm by saying what I said to that other person. The second thing I know for certain is that it made me feel better for having said it. So I would encourage anybody to make a point of sharing small positive comments. And I'll come back to the plus side and some of the risks of not doing it in a minute. But first of all, I'll share what I learned in that book. And that is the devastating consequences for us as human beings when positive encouragement and gratitude is not present. When we are in environments where positive comments, encouragement, gratitude is completely removed, the consequences are devastating. I can't overstate what the consequences are. We do very badly as human beings in our health and mental state when positivity is completely removed. But when we think about what we do as human beings, we're almost encouraged to look for negativity. When we turn on the news, the lead stories are almost always bad. It's bad news, because the broadcasters know that's what gets our attention. So when we are in the workplace and we do performance evaluations, it's almost so natural for us to look at what those people are doing wrong and put those performance improvement plans into effect before we have a chance to look at what they're doing well. And even though many of our team members it might be necessary to put a performance improvement program for that person because it's a vitally important part of their job, let's focus on that after focusing on what they've done right, what they've succeeded in, how they're progressing in what they've done correctly. And then they're far more likely to accept some coaching and some training and development on areas that they're not performing so well at. Similarly, with our families and with our kids, it's very easy for us to pick up, because we want our kids to do better, it's very easy for us to pick up what they're doing wrong, where they didn't make their bed in the morning, where they left their books on the dining room table, where they didn't say please and thank you. It's very easy for us to pick up those things, but for every one thing they did wrong, they may have done 5 or 6 things correctly, but we didn't praise them, we didn't notice that. So let's make a point of proactively picking out what goes right and encouraging that. And when we point out what needs to be improved, let's do that in a positive way rather than just picking out the negative. So I hope that gave you a few ideas. How could we do that in the future moving forward? Well, make it a bit of a game for yourself. Try and do 3 things that are positive and unexpected each day, and just make a note of how you feel. You may not know the consequences of what you did exactly, but what I can pretty much guarantee is that you will feel better for having done it. So 3 things a day. Don't give false praise, because false praise, people can smell that a mile away, and it doesn't do anybody any good for giving someone praise where it's not really relevant or deserved. But try and make a point of 3 things a day that are unexpected and positive, and just notice the results. So I really hope that that gave you some ideas. Remember, there's devastating consequences for us human beings when positivity is removed from an environment. And the other thing is, you'll never know the consequences of being positive and being grateful for other people. But one thing I can promise you for sure, you will feel better as a result, and that has to be a win. So I'd love to know how that goes for you. And for now, for real, until we share again next time, take care of each other.